Probably.
Oh well, that was just difficult.
Again, you guys can come all the way forward for anything slightly like that. Okay, you can come all the way to the front. All the way. I promise I will not pick on anyone who stands within the front row. Except maybe you, sir. You might just There we go, that's everyone. Well, welcome to today's ghostly underground tour. We're going to be exploring a little bit of the gruesome history of the old town of Edinburgh before we do descend deep underground into the infamous South Bridge Vaults, a place which has earned reputation over the years as being one of the most haunted places in the whole of Britain. Now, for those of you who do not believe in the paranormal, plenty of good old-fashioned ghost stories, some very, very gruesome history, hopefully to keep you entertained for the next hour and a quarter. But I am going to ask you all to remember this. When we're down there, 4 stories underground in the depths of those vaults, pitch black, no natural light. One of you maybe starts feeling a little bit nervous. Maybe one of you starts to see something just out of the corner. You're going to know exactly whose name just starts to scream out in terror. And my name is Jenny. Remember that name, because when I hear you screaming out in terror, I too then can start screaming. But I will also start running, and I'm going to run as fast as I can, straight out of the exit door, abandoning you to whatever fate might await you down there. From now on, you are my ghostly early warning system. Thank you very much for this. But we start here above ground in the beautiful heart of the old town of Edinburgh, just around the corner from the Mercat Cross, which of course, Mercat Cross is named after. Mercat is a Scots word for market. That is the area where merchants meet and trade. New visitors to Edinburgh, they would simply go to the cross and find a caddie or a guide to show them the sights of the city. But more importantly for us, over time, that cross became a central meeting point for a group of an entirely different kind. They were infamous. They were bloodthirsty. They were known as the Edinburgh mob. They would go to the cross to witness public torture, public humiliation, and public execution. And looking around at just a few of your faces today, particularly you there, madam, you do seem like quite a bloodthirsty lot. I'm gonna say, I highly, highly approve of this. But I think you guys can do with a few gruesome stories. I think maybe you guys will become my Edinburgh mob. And for my very first story, I want to take you back to when the Edinburgh mob gathered at the Mercat Cross in their thousands, in their tens of thousands. It was 1652. You came to the Mercat Cross to witness one of your favourite forms of entertainment. You saw 2 Englishmen dragged out in front of the cross in chains. I think I might actually just need a few willing, volunteers. I think you, sir! Could I actually borrow you for my very first volunteer? Doesn't matter. Here we go. I think if also I could borrow you, sir. Fantastic, thank you very much. You didn't avoid eye contact quickly enough. Now we have our 2 gentlemen. I think we have our Edinburgh mob. Now these 2 gentlemen had to turn their backs on the mob to face the stone of the Mercat Cross behind them.
Follow instruction either way.
They had to place their hands high on the stone above their heads. But they would have been whipped 39 times. The cat o' nine tails, the ends and bedded pieces of rock and glass, that extra ounce of pain. Now I'm afraid I don't actually have a cat o' nine tails with me today. I think that my cat, I think it's only got 1 tail, but you know what? I think it'll do nicely. But I would ask if you could back up very, very slightly on either side. Yeah, I can get a bit over enthusiastic during this part. Now, with each one of the sickening lashes, these 2 gentlemen would have started to scream in agony. Got that, guys? And you, the bloodthirsty Edinburgh mob, you would have started to boo, to jeer. So I ask you, gentlemen, are you ready?
Well, yeah, ready.
My Edinburgh mob, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Edinburgh mob, are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are awful screams, much more booing, I think. much more screaming, please. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13. I think I'm very bloodthirsty. I think 13 will do for today. Now these two gentlemen's backs would have been ripped, raw, and open, the glint of bone visible beneath their torn flesh. So next to torture would have robbed a large handful, salt.
Oh my God.
Causing further screams of agony. Can we try one more time just here for an agonising scream? Now these two gentlemen had to turn around to face the booing Edinburgh mob. Please turn around, gentlemen. Bit of booing. You are a bloodthirsty lot. Now this first gentleman, a large rusty nail, it had been inserted to the delicate flesh. Oh wait, your earring is really nice. To the delicate flesh at the top of the ear. This nail hammered in tight, pinning him to the stone of the Mercat cross itself. This second gentleman. Now I do like people to be very, very happy on my tours. I'm sure you've all heard the expression grinning from ear to ear. Not real. Haven't allowed a real one since that accident. Now this man's face would have been sliced mouth to ear on either side. His jaw simply would have dropped wide open. His tongue coming lolling out of his mouth. His would have inside a sign of contraption that was slowly screwed tighter and tighter and tighter as that tongue began to swell for his breath from his mouth. Maybe tossed aside into the mob as a nice souvenir to take home. Maybe another lovely souvenir. But he then would have been free to go. So a very big round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir. Big round of applause, I think, for this gentleman who was This second gentleman still pinned by his ear to the Mercat cross. He would simply have plucked out the nail nice and easy. We would ever so slowly have torn him away from the stone, leaving the ear still pinned in place. But here in Edinburgh, we like the things to be symmetrical. We like things to be nice and even. The end of this courtyard, that's not even a real building, it's just a facade. This man's other ear still remained. This had to go. This also was torn aside, that same rusty knife. This ear may be thrown into the gutter for the dogs to eat. You know what I say though? Ready to go? Big round of applause for our second gentleman. Thank you very much, sir. You might perhaps be wondering, what horrible crime did these two gentlemen commit to deserve such a terrible and so very public punishment? I said the year was 1652. These two gentlemen, after a nice long day walking the streets of Edinburgh, they'd gone into a nice local pub or tavern to find a cool, refreshing drink. But whilst there, when the gentleman had stood up, he said loudly to anyone that would listen, "To the health of the king." His companion next to him stood up and said, "Hear, hear," in agreement. In 1652, there was no king. Scotland was a republic under command of a man named Oliver Cromwell. To toast the health of the king, they were arrested. They were sentenced to be publicly tortured right in the Mercat cross to send a very public message. And maybe think about this if you go into a nice local pub or tavern later on tonight yourself. Apart from you guys, don't ever go to a local pub or tavern. Don't ever drink alcohol, okay? But if you go into that pub or tavern and you lift up your glass and a toast, just remember that we are very, very literal here in Edinburgh, because the gentleman who had raised his toast to the health of the king, he had his tongue torn from his mouth. He would never speak again. Second gentleman who said, "Hear, hear," in agreement. He had both of his ears sliced from his head. He would never hear again. Just bear that in mind. You do go to that nice local pub or tavern a wee bit later. But I would like to leave behind the beautiful St. Giles Cathedral and take you a little bit further out onto the Royal Mile, down into one of my favourite places of the old town. I'm going to say to you all, you are a lovely size group today. Please stay very, very close together. I would hate to lose a single one of you. Maybe until we get to the dolls themselves. It will become anyone's guess how many of you will come back out of there alive. And I just got to say that I do not have a very good feeling about you, sir.